Today, I'm going to show you how to make Korean-style corn dogs. We call them 핫도그. And I'm going to show you 4 ways. This is the original and cheese corn dog and crunchy ramen noodle corn dogs. Yep, crunchy, crunchy. Potato corn dogs. Talk about carb on carb, so yum. And I'm also going to show you how to make 2 sauces. This is the spicy ketchup sauce and this creamy, garlicky, slightly spicy sauce. Ooh, it's so good together with the corn dogs. Ooh la la. Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. 안녕하세요, Modern Pepper의 헬렌입니다. For those of you that are new to Modern Pepper channel, Modern Pepper channel offers instructional Korean cooking lessons for authentic Korean recipes as well as Korean fusion recipes. So please do consider subscribing. 맛있는 한식 요리와 한식 퓨전 요리를 여러분들과 영어로 함께 하겠습니다. 구독 버튼 꼭 눌러주세요. Now start kneading your dough for 5 minutes. Now, for some of you, your dough might come out a little bit wetter than usual and it will stick to your hands like so, but just continue kneading for 3 minutes straight. And if it's still sticking to your hands like so, then sprinkle a little bit of flour and then just knead. So by the end of 5 minutes, your dough should look like this. Still very, very gummy, softer than the Play-Doh consistency. Our dough is resting. We have to skewer our hot dogs. Now, my personal preference is to use Korean disposable chopsticks. We call these 나무 젓가락 because I think it's like the perfect length and it has the right amount of strength to hold our hot dogs. So what you want to do is skewer it 2/3 of the way. Now you could use any hot dog of your choice. Vegan friends, obviously vegan hot dogs. And then for our cheese hot dogs, our dough has doubled in size. And we're gonna just scoop it out. And on a clean surface, slam it. So just press it down to squeeze out all the excess air. Kind of shape it into a long rectangle. Now, if you want your corn dog to come out with extra cushiony bread coating, split this into 3 equal parts. But I'm gonna split it into 4 equal parts, like so. Let's taste our spicy ketchup. Oh, it's so good. You're welcome. Seriously, ketchup and gochujang is a marriage made in heaven. I'm not even gonna say anymore. So yum. Our creamy, spicy sauce. It's light and creamy and slightly spicy and garlicky. Now, taste it. At this point, you might want to add a little more salt. This is going to be so good with our corn dogs. So I am super excited to share my all-time favorite non-spicy instant ramen called Ichiban Sapporo. Yes, it's not Korean, but if you grew up in the New York tri-state area and you are of my age, like maybe 20, I'm just kidding. Anyway, sometimes, you know, doing math for my age, it gets harder every year. Sapporo Ichiban was my all-time favorite after-school snack, and I know I'm not the only one. So if you know what I'm talking about, drop me a line, some hearts, whatever. I think friends in Hawaii also grew up having this too. Now for our hot dog topping, we're gonna use one of these. So put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna break up a cluster because I'm gonna show you how I used to eat it after school. Now, the soup powder packet, first of all, you have to get the original. Chicken and shrimp is original. So, and then you pour this in here. Instead of potato chips, I'd rather eat this. Seal it, and then you just shake it. And then here's my cluster. This is how I used to eat it after school. It's so good. You're welcome, everybody. And then you pour the rest in here. And if your frying oil doesn't make that noise after you put it in, that means your oil was not properly heated. The trick is to lay the second one on top of this so it kind of helps it submerge it. And you also need to kind of turn it over and you have to kind of hold it in place so it cooks on both sides. And this will cook quickly, like in a matter of 3 to 5 minutes. Frying, I have a couple tools that I highly recommend. One is a frying thermometer. It's also called a candy thermometer. So we are cruising at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for our frying oil. So it's much better to use a thermometer than just guesstimating your oil temperature, because if it's too hot, it'll burn the outside or cook the outside, but not cook the inside. And then if it's too low, you're putting your delicious food in like lukewarm, semi-whatever oil that's just gonna sit and steam in oil, and you don't want that. And the other is a cooling rack. It is so much better to let your fried goods rest on a cooling rack so it drips the oil instead of piling it on paper towel where it's just like sitting in that soggy drippings of oil. And the other is using a very heavy bottom pot that will retain and hold its temperature. Jajan! Okay, so jan, jajan is basically ta-da in Korean. Oh boy, these are gonna be so good. So I'm gonna cut this to show you the inside. Ooh la la. First of all, the breading, it tastes so good. It's like fluffy, but still very, a little bit dense. And then you can taste the cornmeal. With the sausage you made, of course, with ketchup and gochujang. And then the exterior is so crunchy. And the breading inside is so soft. And then with this creamy sauce. So if you go to Korea, they don't call these corn dogs. We call them Haut-Doh-Ghu. Haut-Doh-Ghu has been around for decades in Korea. It's not a new trend that just started in the last 10 years. I grew up eating Haut-Doh-Ghu as a little kid. My grandmother would take me grocery shopping at the market. We call it 시장. And back then, they didn't have indoor supermarkets. That's how old I am. So for those of you that grew up going to 시장 for grocery shopping with your parents or grandparents, drop me a line or two. Anyway, I miss it. There's always so much delicious snacks that they sell at 시장, and Haut-Doh-Ghu was one of them. So yum. Moving on to our cheese. Cut it, but you have to let the cheese dog rest for about 5 to 8 minutes. If you try to cut it and try to do the cheese pull before that, the cheese is still so hot that it's very liquidy, and you want it at that temperature where it's like starting to kind of gel back, and then you do the pull like this. Look at that. Cheese pull. This too, with the ketchup sauce, with our creamy spicy sauce, or both, so bueno. So good. Okay, and then our potato one too. I mean, let me just show you the inside. Look at that. I mean, this is called carb on carb, but totally worth it. I worked out extra hard this morning and I'll have to work out extra hard tomorrow, but hey, it is all worth it, my friends, because, eating yummy food is important, I think, in life. The potatoes are so crunchy. Because we seasoned our potatoes, It's another layer of flavors that I'm getting. Garlicky, oniony, peppery. Very, very nice. I almost choked on my own corn dog. And then our ramyeon. My favorite, Sapporo Ichiban. And you could use any dried ramen. I mean, in Korean, we call these uncooked ramen noodles sing ramyeon. So yum. And the sauces, ketchup and gochujang. I mean, if you put Tabasco sauce and gochujang, you're gonna love gochujang with your ketchup. I mean, Heinz, you're welcome for the idea. For this one, I'm gonna put both sauces. So good, so good. Okay, now. It's so refreshing with the corn dogs. So good. I want to thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed watching today's video, I would greatly love it if you would click on that thumbs up icon. Thank you so much. 여러분 오늘 재밌게 보셨으면 꼭 좋아하는 버튼 눌러주세요. 감사합니다. Alright, so make sure to check out these other videos here. So I will see you in the next video.